Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Change Collective. It's Friska here of Fresh by Friska, and with me is my good friend Matt of Lavo. And today we're going to build on last week. So last week we talked about BBB, B for benefits, and this week is a different B, and that is business readiness. What the hell is it? What does effective business readiness look like? What are the critical things that you need to know? And Matt has a lot of experience in this area. So Matt, please share with us your pearls of wisdom.
Thank you very much, Fishka. So yeah, business readiness is one of the most important aspects of change, I believe. Business readiness is ensuring that your business is able to adopt the new solution. It doesn't have to be technology. It could be a new policy, it could be a restructure, it could be merger and acquisition, but it's the readiness of the business and whatever area or areas of the business that are about to be impacted can absorb that change. So in terms of business readiness, there are a number of things that I would suggest that you need to really deep dive into and plan around. So there are things like, what's the support model? So if you've got a new solution, let's say technology, for instance, you've built this new widget, you've got to get it into the business. If things go wrong, and there is a tendency when you start to use things that not everything is explored in great detail like your users do, how can they reach out? Who can they turn to? So do you have change agents involved? Do you have an IT help desk? Do you have change champions that can help you manage through that transition to minimize the dip in terms of that transition? So your support model is important. Ensuring that you have your business processes mapped and understanding what the resultant impacted change will be from those processes being mapped. So are there procedures that need to be updated? Are there user guides? Are there different login requirements that are required for technology, for instance? Are there access pass details that need to be done because you're going into a new building as a part of a merger and acquisition? So have you mapped all of your processes to ensure that when you're transitioning, you're able to transition as smoothly as possible? There is also a requirement to have what projects tend to call hypercare, but I would call out an extended business hypercare arrangement, because there needs to be a project to business handover or program to business handover. So that project to business handover has all of the technical requirements, and how can you go from an immediate hypercare support into a longer term BAU support? Your stakeholders need to be engaged and aware of what they're responsible for as a part of the change and what they're now taking on board. But fundamentally, mapping that out and ensuring that you're capturing the lessons that you learned along the way. So don't just build one business readiness plan and go, ta-da, that was great, lock it away. Make sure it's alive. Keep building upon it as you keep delivering different programs and projects along the way. So there's a couple of tips and tricks that I've had over the course of my tenure in various projects. How about yourself? Do you have any tips and tricks that you'd like to share?
Echoing on your point, there are many different readiness criteria, and like you said, they revolve around stakeholders, so understanding, agreement, sign-off, change leadership metrics. They revolve around communications, so key messages, where the management has talking points, accurate information for the rest of the staff, knowledge transfer, right? This is all about capability building. So materials, activities, how do we assess that people are actually ready? Processes, like you already said, making sure they're mapped out, they're documented, they're transitioned, they've been assigned an owner, there's a handover, and lastly, the actual behavior change. So do they understand their new roles? Is there accountability? Is there ownership? Is there support? So those are my nuggets. Thank you so much for your time, Matt, and thank you everybody for tuning in for another episode of The Change Collective. We'll see you next time.